bracing for Moscow's wrath. How will Russia retaliate against Ukraine's spiderweb drone attack?
Ukraine's large-scale drone attacks on Russian air bases could provoke a fierce reaction from the Kremlin, experts warn. "We can expect plenty of noise and fury from Moscow," said Keir Giles, a specialist at the London-based think tank Chatham House, in an interview with Newsweek. The warning follows Ukraine's June 1st announcement that its security service, SBU, carried out a bold drone operation named Spiderweb, targeting 5 strategic Russian air bases, including one over 4,000 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. According to Ukraine, the FPV drones were secretly transported deep into Russian territory, hidden inside wooden cabins mounted on trucks. At the right moment, the cabin roofs were remotely opened, launching drones directly at parked bombers. Targets included Belaya Air Base, over 4,000 kilometers from Ukraine, Olenia, Murmansk region, Diaghilev, Ryazan, and Ivanovo region. Ukraine estimates that the strikes destroyed over 40 aircraft, accounting for 34% of Russia's bomber fleet, and caused up to $7 billion in damages. Some military analysts warn that Ukraine's ability to strike so deep inside Russian territory could raise the risk of a nuclear response from Moscow. Following Ukraine's drone strikes on Russian air bases, expert Keir Giles says Moscow will once again highlight the risk of uncontrollable escalation in its messaging to the West. According to Giles, Russia may claim that its nuclear forces remain on high alert, and that any further Ukrainian attacks on Russian territory could trigger a full-scale war with NATO. He added that Moscow is likely to pressure Washington to restrain Ukraine in order to prevent further damage to Russia's strategic military assets, the same assets used to conduct bombing campaigns against Ukraine. Giles emphasized that the more critical question now is how the US will respond, and to what extent it might side with Moscow in restraining Kyiv. The Russian Ministry of Defense has acknowledged the Ukrainian drone attacks on its air bases, but claimed that all strikes were successfully repelled. Sejdomir Nestorovich, a geopolitical analyst at ESEC Business School, believes that Russia is unlikely to escalate the situation further and may even downplay the severity of the attacks to avoid acknowledging a defeat. Vuk Vuksanovic, a researcher with LSE Ideas at the London School of Economics, noted that Ukraine's latest strike marks its most significant tactical success since late 2022. Diplomatically, he said, this reduces Moscow's incentive to agree to a ceasefire with Kyiv. Instead of making concessions, Russia is expected to stand firm on 2 key issues: Ukraine's potential NATO membership and the status of the territories it claims to have annexed. According to expert Vuk Vuksanovic, Russia's military response will likely focus on weakening Ukrainian forces while awaiting the outcome of the upcoming summer offensive. Moscow is also expected to continue its relentless missile strikes on both Ukraine's military infrastructure and civilian targets. Expert Keir Giles predicts that Russia will retaliate for Ukraine's drone strikes by escalating air raids and missile attacks on Ukrainian cities. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, notes that Ukraine's strategic drone campaign against Russian bombers may temporarily limit Moscow's ability to carry out long-range drone and missile attacks. Moreover, Russia may struggle to replace the number of bombers damaged or destroyed in the recent Ukrainian operation.
The West reveals the gift Zelensky unintentionally gave to Russia.
By carrying out a terrorist attack on Russian airfields, President Zelensky has completely undermined Ukraine and handed Moscow an advantage in the Istanbul talks. This was the opinion expressed by political commentator Clara Statello in an article for the Lanti Diplomatico news portal. By attacking the airfields, Ukraine has handed Russia a significant advantage in the negotiations. Zelensky has openly demonstrated a willingness to continue the war, even at the cost of dangerously escalating the conflict, the article states. At the same time, the author argues that despite Kyiv's ongoing strikes and its attempts to provoke a rash response from Moscow, Zelensky is only worsening the situation for his own country. On June 1st, the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that Kyiv had carried out a terrorist FPV drone attack on airfields in the Murmansk, Irkutsk, Ivanovo, Ryazan, and Amur regions. All of Kyiv's attacks on the airfields in the Ivanovo, Ryazan, and Amur regions were repelled. According to the ministry, fires caused by Ukraine's drone strikes at airfields in the Murmansk and Irkutsk regions were extinguished, and no casualties were reported.